Have you ever asked yourself a question? How many extra calories do we burn while walking? Really? Let's explore that today. Hello, I'm Dr.Sam, this is Dr. Sam's Health, and today I would like to talk to you about walking again. I've already made one video about walking, about the general benefits of walking, about its impact on potential weight loss, body transformation, and how useful this exercise or activity can be if we incorporate it into our daily routines. Today I would like to be more specific, and I promised you that I would talk about the exact caloric impact of walking on our caloric deficit, on total daily energy expenditure. I must say that a lot of people tend to overestimate this number. It's actually quite less than what you might think if you haven't researched that. But I'm a scientist and I would like to explore these numbers with you today. Before we do so, I have to make my regular disclaimers. First of all, I'm a medical doctor, but it doesn't mean that anything I say here on YouTube or on my website is medical advice. It is not. I do not give any medical advice online other than through Ontario Telemedicine Network. And obviously my opinions, they hopefully are well informed, but also they are well intended, and they do not necessarily represent the opinions of my regulatory bodies, my universities, colleges, my profession in general, and so on. And the last disclaimer, as you know, I suck in videography, and I'm trying to walk and reap benefits of walking while making this video about walking, but I assume that the sound quality and the visual quality might be pretty bad. Please forgive me for that, but I'm trying to literally do what I preach. Okay, we're done with the disclaimers. Let's talk about the actual numbers. So there are a couple of ways of calculating the number of calories that we burn while walking. The very scientific and pretty straightforward way is looking up some reference values for MET, which is Metabolic Equivalent of Task, or MAT. What are these? I will definitely make a special video on that, but I don't want to dwell too much on this concept. I'll give you just the very basic explanation of what it is if you have never heard of it. So we do have certain basal metabolic rate, or resting metabolic rate. So even if we are not doing anything, we are lying down, we are breathing, our heart is beating, and we are just sustaining the basic vital functions of our body, we still spend some energy. And this amount of energy is called basal metabolic rate, resting metabolic rate. They are almost equivalent. So when we start being active, whenever we do anything, our metabolic rate increases. And the multiplier for this increase can be called MET, Metabolic Equivalent of Task. Just to give you an example, if I say that my walking is 4 mats, it means that my regular walking, when I'm walking at a regular pace, I burn 4 times more calories, I spend 4 times more energy than in my absolutely basic resting state. So that's a great way of calculating the amount of calories. If you know your BMR, basic metabolic rate, you can calculate the number of calories you burn. The problem is that the reference values, they range somewhere between 2 and 12. And I don't even know, like both of them are quite extreme. So if you are walking with the mat of 2, it's a very slow walk. I am not even sure how to show it. I can barely imagine somebody doing such a slow and low energy, low impact walk. 12 mat is just ridiculously intense walk. I think that maybe if you're in the military, you're on a march, you are carrying like 100 pounds and it's a very intense walk, maybe then you burn 12 times more calories than its rest. But quite frankly, it's a very ridiculous number. I personally believe that this number is somewhere between 3 and 6 mat for just a regular walk, but we do have reference tables and you can use them. Since I would like to get really hands-on with this, I decided to make an experiment. I have this app that gives me some numbers in terms of like some descriptions of my walks, and this app is called Run Meter. You can use whatever you like. I just recorded 30 trips of mine, just going to work, walking to work. Oh my goodness, for some reason I have a difficulty saying walking to work and back, doing some grocery shopping, doing various activities, just walking in the park, my regular pace, and this app would give me some numbers in terms of the distance walked, number of steps I've done, time of this walk, and number of calories I burned. And obviously this app is super enthusiastic. It like gives you like numbers along the lines of you've walked for half an hour, you burned 200 calories. Just a random number. It sounds very encouraging because I feel like, oh, I just walked for half an hour, I burned 200 calories. The problem is that it includes your BMR, and in my case, it's pretty high. So the actual number of calories that you burn while walking, extra calories, is much lower. And I took on a task of calculating this number of calories. And let me tell you what exactly I have learned. So what I have collected the data, I made a little spreadsheet, collected the data on 30 trips, and I plugged in the information on my basal metabolic rate into this spreadsheet. By the way, you can calculate your BMR using certain formulas. You can find them online, you can find the actual formulas, or you can check them out on my website, Dr.Sam's Health. We got toolbox section there where we got quite a few different tools for your body transformation. Anyhow, I'm digressing, and by the way, there are quite a few distractions here, and I apologize if I get distracted and I lose my train of thought. So I plugged all this data into this spreadsheet and I calculated my averages. So I was able to tell what my average walking speed is, what my pace is, how many steps per hour I do. But most importantly, I calculated my MAT. So my regular walking is exactly 4 MAT, and it's like well within this range that I was describing earlier. But I don't really need to do all of that in order to calculate that. Most importantly, I have calculated the number of extra calories that I burn per 1,000 steps. So I have calculated the number of minutes I spend in order to do 1,000 steps, how many calories I burn according to the app, and I subtracted the number of calories that I would normally burn in a resting state. So this number is 43.3 kilocalories per 1,000 steps, which is the cornerstone of my today's video. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but recently I've been doing a 2021 body transformation, and part of my commitment was to do 10K steps a day. So effectively it means that I'm doing 10K steps a day, so I'm burning 433 more calories a day, which sounds already like a great result. By the way, speaking of my transformation, my commitment is to do this 10K steps a day as part of many other things, and I'll make a video of my transformation in a couple of weeks. I'm almost done with the 3 months first phase of it, but also part of this commitment is to do 1 million steps over the course of this 3 months, and I'm at 970 something thousand. So there will be another video about my million steps journey. Don't miss it. Subscribe, hit the like button, notification bell, and so on. So we're done with that. 433 extra calories a day sounds like a good number, right? The problem is that not all of these calories are coming from fat, and most importantly that normally even if I wouldn't have had this commitment of 10K steps, I would still do like 5,000, right? So there are not that many extra calories I burn. What is the good part? The good part of this walking is that I still boost my metabolism a little bit. So when you're going on a very strict diet, and right now, actually at this particular moment, I'm on a very low calorie diet. I get less than 800 calories a day. For a guy with BMR of close to 1900 and TDE of close to 3000, it's a very low number. But I'm doing this and my body tends to slow down effectively. It reduces my NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. There is a less thermic effect of food because I eat less and so on. And in order to compensate for it, I can boost my metabolism by engaging in like low impact activity like walking. And that, in my opinion, is the main benefit of walking. But we can still talk about the numbers. So this fantastic number of 433 kilocalories per day extra. Sometimes I walk more actually. I think I've done 10K while recording this video because I do multiple doubles, multiple takes. This number is still not particularly cool. Let's talk about the number of steps or amount of time I have to spend walking in order to burn 1 pound of fat. And actually, even assuming that all the calories are coming from fat, and there is a decent amount of calories coming from fat when we are walking, when we're engaging in low intensity activity. By the way, I'll make a video on that too. Say we need to burn 3,500 kilocalories, which is exactly the number of calories 1 pound of fat. In order to do so, I have to do quite a lot of walking. How many steps do you think I have to do? Over 80,000. Actually, 80,880 steps, which is a nice, precise number, and it is also a palindrome like Tenet. Check out my video on the movie Tenet. Doctor talks about Tenet. And that's almost a depressing number. It's a huge number of steps. So effectively, in order to burn 1 pound of fat, even if all the calories are coming from fat, I have to do 10k steps a day for 8 days, or slightly more for a week. That's a lot. Also, we can calculate the number of hours I have to spend walking in order to burn 1 pound of fat. Again, assuming that all the calories are coming from fat. And this number of hours is 14.3. So essentially I would have to wake up, skip my breakfast, skip my lunch, walk again, until I burn 3,500 kilocalories. Huge number, not really realistic. So if we apply walking stats, in my case, to my regular routines, I should not expect to burn more than a pound of fat a week. But given all these assumptions that not all the calories are coming from fat, I'm already making some steps. So I'm doing extra calories coming from extra steps. Likely would take me around a month to realistically burn a pound of fat. Well, but again, I do not think that's the main message. The main message is that walking does boost your metabolism. Walking helps with strengthening your cardiovascular system. It helps you to stay active. It helps you to prepare yourself for more intense physical exercise. So that is the main benefit of walking in my case, or in my opinion. And that is pretty much what I wanted to say. So again, walking is a great activity for weight loss, for health in general, but the number of extra calories that you burn from walking is, quite frankly, not negligible, but relatively small. Actually, these 433 calories a day per 10k steps that I mentioned there can be easily offset by eating one sandwich. So, I like this thing from Starbucks, ham and Swiss, amazing thing, but I think it's pretty much exactly the same number of calories, 390 or 400. So, having said that, again, I believe that walking is a great exercise that has massive general benefits, and these small quantities of calories, steps, calories that you lose accordingly over the course of many days, weeks, months, years of walking, they accumulate, and the overall result is great. So we're talking about losing 1 pound of body fat per month. Over the course of the year, I would lose 10-12 pounds, and it's a decent result for some people. And obviously, walking is not the only thing you're doing. Likely you are engaging in some sort of nutritional intervention. You are reducing your caloric intake, you are staying in consistent caloric deficit, and walking does not let your body slide into this metabolic pitfalls of slow metabolism and so on. So that is, again, my main point, and thank you for watching. Before we wrap up this video, I would like to remind you that if you like my videos, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, check out my website, Dr.Sam's Health, leave comments, make any kind of suggestions, statements, help me stay relevant and active on YouTube so that more people can see my videos. I hope that I do contribute some value. Once again, thank you for watching, and all the very best. Soon there will be a video on my million steps journey. See you there.